My name's Martin Ross. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of YPB Group, and we develop and sell solutions which help trigger engagement with their consumers. And today's presentation is all about optimising consumer experiences by driving data-driven insights. So, what do we know? Can brands really afford not to be part of the data revolution through QR codes? If we look at the space and how it's changed, especially in the last couple of years since COVID, that there's been an 88% increase through the use of QR codes on retail and consumer packaged goods. More importantly, if we look at the development of out-of-home media, we've had QR codes appear on bus shelters, billboards, physical media, print-based media ads. There is a growing use of this type of technology, which is only further adapting awareness. And in the FMCG space, 75% of consumers are now scanning on QR codes in the FMCG space. So we know it's not going away, and the retail landscape is changing. If we look at our counterparts in the US, a staggering 87% of businesses are now using QR codes in their marketing strategies. If we look at how that correlates to what's happening here in Australia, it's that we've got a 98 to 99% saturation of users with smartphones, which means everything's got a built-in QR code reader essentially. The next thing is that, look, 3-4 years ago, you'd needed an app to be able to read a QR code. That's now gone. So you as a user can go up to a QR code, you can engage in it, and you don't need an application, which we think is huge. That's the same with Android and iOS, for example. There's more and more competition between brands in marketing spaces, also fighting for media shelf. So what does that mean? There's two brands, both are, say, a nutraceutical or a pharmaceutical product. They both want that consumer's attention. It's more and more likely that a consumer is going to purchase a brand which has put a QR code on their packaging because they can in-store, engage with that product and get further information from it. So it's providing a difference of competition. Data is becoming more and more important. So if I'm a brand and I'm manufacturing product, because of the way the omni-channel marketing process is going, brands are losing that connection with their end consumer. So what happens is I'm a consumer, I've bought a product, the brand has now lost that interaction. The consumer's now taken that product home. And with products like QR codes, brands can help retain that data through first-party data engagement. There's been a couple of really good talks on sustainability. I won't dwell too much on it, other than the new consumers coming through, like your Zoomers and your millennials, are more conscious in terms of what the impact of that product packaging is. And then of course, we know QR codes are here to stay, thanks to GS1. That landscape is very, very quickly evolving. Now, the three types of QR codes that I want to focus on with you today is dynamic, serialized, and track and trace. We're not a fan of static QR codes because of the endpoint that they lead to. They don't really encourage the ability to do consented first-party data and zero-party data capture, and there's no real benefit for brands. So if brands are putting static QR codes on their product packaging, we're a big believer in that they should be at least switching that out for a dynamic QR code if they don't want to go to serialization or they don't yet want to go to track and trace. Serialized QR codes are great because it provides you unit level information in terms of batch or product recall opportunities, but also if there's a problem with that particular unit, you can make users aware of that through the scan data as well. Track and trace, look, there's lots and lots of providers out there of track and trace, but how you want to use it to your advantage is couple it with a serialized QR code and then potentially track and trace QR codes in your supply chain. The benefit being that you can help tell the consumer about the product provenance and its story. If you look at our use case with some of our brands and the people that we work with, they've had a massive 2,500% increase in terms of their consumer engagement, starting from about 2020. They're getting visibility in over 18 countries outside of Australia and China, and around 50,000 scans a month. what's a huge takeaway with that is that 5,000 of those 50,000 scans are actually consumers re-engaging with that product packaging. So they've bought the product, they've taken it home, they're re-scanning it for the product information, or more importantly for brands, the product reorder. So again, the key trends shaping the product and the future of packaging, it's got to be sustainable and eco-friendly, digital traceability and smart packaging, and then e-commerce and personalisation. A big thing that I'll stick on with digital traceability and packaging is that brands who are not utilising these technologies like QR codes on packaging, my view is that they're creating dumb and risky packaging. Brands spend thousands of dollars updating product packaging and marketing their product packaging, but if they don't have a dynamic QR code on it, to say the least, I think that they're missing out by creating smart packaging in that. And because of the rise of e-commerce and the omni-channel marketing process, the big thing with that is that if you're not putting a QR code, if it's not dynamic, if it's not static, if it's not dynamic, it's not static, you've also got the missed visibility of your end consumer, which means they're invisible to you. When it comes to partnerships, we're a big believer in partnering with a company that can provide you everything, whether that's dynamic, whether that's serialized, whether that's track and trace, or whether that's brand protection through things like anti-copy screens. The big thing with all of this is that if you take it back 3 years ago, it was always a new process to try and get a QR code via a production line integration. The market has moved so much. Matthews and the guys in white, I would encourage you to talk to them. They've got some great solutions in market to help you get a QR code on your product packaging. And more importantly, there are more and more companies out there that you can partner with that can provide you this type of solution. The only thing we would say is look for a partner who can work with you, whether that's, again, a static, serialized, dynamic, or anti-counterfeit code. And look, that's about it from me. Can brands really afford not to use QR codes? I don't think so. In the way in which data is evolving and the fact that brands are going to need to do more to get into the pocket of their consumer, there's no easier way to do it, and there's no more cost-effective way to do it, whether that's creating intelligent packaging solutions that are driven with data-driven insights. So thank you very much for your time today.